Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Unwanted Mind podcast. This is episode 27. I just want to start off saying that I am a little sick. I do have a little bit of a sore throat and a runny nose, or stuffy nose, not a runny nose. So it may sound, a little different in this podcast, but there's no excuses. I'm still going to record. I'll admit I was thinking about if I should record or not. But then I remembered, right away, that there was so much that happened this past week, and I have to talk about it. I kind of want to create a new format because I always get into the headlines of the podcast, right? Like if you're average listener of the Want to Mind podcast, You see that I only talk about 3 topics for the most part, which are the headlines, the title of this podcast. And I never really get into the small ones, so I kind of want to start with the small ones first, and then when it comes to the big ones, I'll be aware of timing, so I don't take too long talking about it because I have to talk about the titles, the headlines and the title. So yeah, I'm gonna try that. Let's see how that goes. Just so I can talk about more stuff and not just the titles, or the headlines. So yeah, let's get right into it. So the topics for this podcast, there's a lot of them. All sorts of stuff. First one, by the headline, Misfits Boxing. Ksi'S Misfits Boxing was a knockout. Pun intended, obviously. But yeah, dude, if you watch the Misfits Boxing, those fights were just incredible. And what's to come with the Misfits Boxing is just it's gonna be unreal, right? The whole influencer boxing is gonna be so unreal. I fucking love KSI with all my heart, bro. He's literally one of my biggest inspirations. He's literally up there with Kanye and shit and J. Cole. He's up there, man. For me, he's up there. As far as inspirations, he's up there because, I really model myself around these people. So, yeah, man. And obviously based on that title, there was some knockouts. I'll be getting into that later if you haven't watched the fight. But if you watch the fight, you know what I'm talking about, right? We also have Addison Rae drama. There's drama surrounding her parents, her step parents, Young Gravy. Just all sorts of drama surrounding Addison Rae. It's so fucked up, right? And I'm gonna say right now, Addison Rae. She's innocent, right? She's innocent. It's her fucked up parents trying to, leech off the clout off of her and just, just doing shit for clout, and it's so fucked up, right? Bad Bunny bye. Yeah, I'll get into that later in the podcast, but yeah, Bad Bunny maybe bye. And there's nothing wrong about that. Just making that clear before anyone's like, oh, what does that matter? Oh, why do you care? Oh, is that a bad thing? No, it's fine. I'm just saying we didn't know he was bi, but I guess we kind of know now. RJ Barret plays for the Knicks, the New York Knicks. He signed a 4-year rookie extension worth $120 million. That's fucking wild for 4 years. Yeah, wild. Serena Williams last U.S. Open. Yeah, that's heartbreaking. We didn't hear this from her, but there's a lot of rumors that are, spreading around the internet that's saying this is her last U.S. Open. So, yeah. Literally just last night, there was, rumors that spread that Jake Paul will be facing Anderson Silvia in a boxing match. For those who don't know who Anderson Silvia is, he's like a pro MMA UFC fighter. literally considered one of the best in his field. And there's rumors that he'll be boxing Jake Paul. So let's see how that goes. We have Meg Thee Stallion joining the MCU. That's massive. Obviously, there will be a lot of controversy surrounding that, whether if she will be a good pick or not. But yeah, the VMAs happened. So I'll be talking about the winners and some of the people that dressed up, or not some of the people that dressed up, but the highlights, right? Daniel Radcliffe is playing Weird Al Yankovic in a new documentary about him, I believe. Not a documentary, but like like how Will Smith played Mike Tyson and how Jennifer Lopez played Selena, like in a story type of movie, right? Chris Rock declining to host the 2023 Oscars. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know, dude. I feel like that's a little like that. I feel like the Oscars just rubbed it in, and you're like, oh, I remember this happened. Just like, that's one of the stupidest offers yet. Like, what happened at the Oscars. Why the fuck would you want to, make Chris Rock go through that again? And I'm not saying that, Will Smith will fucking call him out again. Because if he does, then there may be some legal action that happens, right? But it's going to be so awkward. Like, why would Chris Rock want to put himself in that position, right? Like, why would he want to be known for that? He's literally a big-time actor. Why the fuck would he want to be known for the guy who got slapped at the Oscars, right? Like, it's going to be so awkward. Everyone's going to be thinking about it, right? So yeah, let's just get right into the smaller topics, and I'll build my way up to the bigger ones. So let's go. I'm just gonna start off with this one. It's as far as the topics that I have for today, it's leaning more towards the small ones, but it's kind of like the bigger small ones, right? So it's kind of in the middle, right? And that's the Megan Thee Stallion joining the MCU. My opinion on it, I don't know how she'll do, right? I'm not gonna lie, I am a little skeptical about this. Because I don't think she has any acting experience, and honestly, I'm not too big of a fan of her music, and I'm just gonna keep it real, right? So I'm not too hyped for this, right? When I first listened to the song WAP, I understand that it's obviously not for me, right? Like, I get it. Like, some women feel like it's empowering to them, and I get that, right? I get it. You want to feel like, you own that pussy. Okay, I feel you, right? And I'll admit, some men do, men rappers do rap about, like, I mean, you don't hear it so often, but I think, like, time to time you hear about, like, guys bigging up their dick, right? They're like, oh, I got a big dick. Like, obviously they don't say it like that. They don't rap it like, oh, I carry that stick and I got a big dick. Like, they don't rhyme it like that, but they do imply shit like that. Like J. Cole, for instance, right? On the song Planes with Jeremiah. He's like, dick so big it's like a foot is in your mouth. Like, and it sounds dope, right? But no one was really criticized. I mean, people were criticizing him for that, right? They're like, okay, J. Cole, really, bro? Really? And, but overall, people fucked with that bar, so. But I think that's the same thing with WAP. A lot of people like the song WAP. I personally don't. I don't see me, blasting that, in the fucking 101, just blasting that shit and just getting stares from everywhere. But yeah, again, it's not for me, but I know she has more music. Obviously the biggest one is WAP, but I know she has more music. I do understand that. She has, sung body. She has a lot of songs, right? But, I said, but, wow, I'm looking at a picture of her and her ass, is poking out. But yeah, with no pun intended, I I don't know how she'll do. They say that she's gonna be in the episode 3 of She-Hulk. She's gonna be in the post-credit scene. Let's see how she does. I don't know if she's gonna be like a background character. I mean, she's a big name, right? Regardless if you like her or not, you gotta understand that she's a big name, right? Like when you say Megan Thee Stallion, like people know who she is, right? They know of her, right? But I don't know what kind of character she'll play. Like, will she be a superhero? Will she be a villain? I don't know. I don't know if she has that potential. And obviously, I'm not trying to, what's it called? I'm not trying to, underestimate her in any type of way. It's just there's no evidence backing it up that she'll be good. But obviously, the MCU, they have a history of, hiring great actors. So maybe they saw potential in her, right? So I mean, if it's Marvel, dude, you kind of you kind of have to, what's it called? You kind of got to understand, right? Like you kind of got you got to support it, right? Because Marvel doesn't really flop with bad actors, right? So let's just see if this is a good pick. Again, I don't know what kind of character she'll play, but we'll see, man. We'll see. They say the M in the MCU doesn't stand for Marvel anymore. It stands for Megan. I mean, yeah. I mean, let's see how she does before we go to these type of conclusions. So yeah, dude, and I think this. I think out of any movie or shows Megan Thee Stallion could have been in, this is the perfect one because I think She-Hulk does surround against it does surround itself, with like drama or like women, and just shit like that, like individual, like empowering women. So I think Marvel saw a good representation in that in Megan Thee Stallion, and they think they saw that her name is popping, so and she has a large audience, so I think that does make it a great way for her audience to attract to Marvel, so I think that is pretty good. As far as that, yeah, that's pretty good. They say that Megan Thee Stallion is a proud anime, comics, and TV fan, so her casting in the new Marvel series is definitely right up her alley. Okay, that's dope. If she's, prior from getting this role, if she was a fan already of, Marvel and shit, and, she understands the lore, that's dope, right? And I big her up in that. That's pretty dope, because I feel like a lot of people take acting roles not knowing what the fuck they're in. You just straight up, they don't understand the lore. They don't understand the character developments that happen to take place, and and we've seen it happen with plenty of films and shows, and we've seen how that has flopped. So at least she's interested in what she's partaking in, and she just didn't see it as a great opportunity, right? She saw more in it. She's like, oh yeah, I can definitely fuck with this, right? She-Hulk is only one of many TV and film projects involving Meg, as she was a cast earlier this year in an R-rated comedy musical Fucking Identical Twins, and made a cameo in early August as an alter ego in Tiana. Her alter ego Tiana Snow in the second season of Star's P-Valley. The star has spoken at length about her desire to break into the film and TV side of Hollywood, even telling Vogue in 2019 that she's writing a horror movie. Okay, so I gotta backtrack then. She has been in other films. Obviously, smaller films, but that's kind of how you have to build yourself up, because even though she's a big name, she's not a big name in acting, right? So you do have to sadly start small at first, right? You can't just go right away in a big movie, because you can be a big celebrity. We've seen it plenty of times, right? A big celebrity in a big movie, and they're just a shit character. I mean, dude, come on. It's just you're asking for it, right? But yeah, she has experience in 2 films, and she's writing a horror movie. So let's see how that goes, man. She said she's trying to follow the footsteps of Queen Latifah and Ice Cube, and that's dope, right? And that's understandable. And I'm pretty sure Queen Latifah and Ice Cube both got the same criticism from the masses. I feel like a lot of people were doubting on them too. It's like, oh, you're just rappers. All you do is music. Stick to your lane. And I feel like that just fueled them more to follow their aspirations of being involved in the film industry, and that's dope. I'm always gonna big up that. So that's nice, and I do fuck with her on that. She's getting a lot of support from a lot of people, especially her fans, and that's dope to see. I just personally don't know how she'll do, but at the same time, I 100% support her in this, because it's just like, why would you ever want to belittle someone and discriminate them and saying that, oh, they're not big enough to do this role, or they're not good enough to do this role. Like, give them a chance, and that's what I really believe. You got to give people a chance to really really represent themselves in the way that they believe they can, and really just shine through the darkness. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say about that. Let's go right to the next topic. The next topic that I will be talking about today is that Chris Rock opening up about his Oscars 2023 hosting offer decision. So obviously he declined the offer from the Oscars to be the host of the Oscars. And I 100% get it, and I feel like everyone does too. Like, it's just obviously there would probably be a lot more viewers if Chris Rock was doing this, if he was hosting the Oscars of this year. But at the same time, what's the price of that, right? Like, what's gonna come with him doing that? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it would overall just be a bad move. Like, why would he want to take that, knowing what happened at the last Oscars? And I don't know if Chris Rock fully believes that the Oscars did, all that they could in order to, prevent this from happening again, or oh no, not or, but and. I don't know if Chris Rock also feels that the Oscars appropriately approached the situation between him and Will Smith, right? Like, maybe Chris Rock feels that the Oscars could have done more about what happened to him, at the Oscars. But yeah, I mean, I like it would just be, it's just insane. To just be hosting and randomly a celebrity walks up to you and just slaps you. I mean, it's fucked up, that they even allow that, right? Because it's like, oh, because they're the celebrities, there should be no security, right? It's just, why? Why not? Celebrities are humans too, right? They're capable of doing some crazy shit, for instance, Ezra Miller. So, like, why wouldn't you want to play security? I'm sure they'll do now. I'm sure that this year's Oscars will be strongly improved. And if it's not, Good luck to whoever's gonna host it, because those are some large shoes to fucking fit in, my boy. Those are large shoes to fit in. So whoever it will host it, let's see how they do. They'll obviously make a joke about last year's Oscars, be like, oh man, last year's Oscars, man, let me tell you. Like, they're gonna make some cringe joke. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how you could deny that Chris Rock is in the wrong for declining this offer, right? Yeah, I mean, I don't see anything wrong about this. So I mean, yeah, I mean, there's not really much other than talk about, but he declined the offer, right? So let's just get around to the next topic. So this is also another quick one. Knicks finalizing a 4-year extension for R.J. Barret worth up to $120 million. I just want to first off say, get that bag, bro. Get that bag, King. Get that bag, man. Like, real shit, man. Like, we love to big up our Kings, you know what I mean? And he's a rookie. I mean, it's in the fucking name. It's a rookie extension, and he's getting $120 million for 40 years. I mean, dude, this is amazing, man. You love to see it. This guy has a lot of potential. A lot of people all over Twitter are saying that, bro, they're overpaying him. Oh, with that money, you could get a way better player. You know, you can like, you know, help out the core of the team, but you gave it all to him. Like, bro, dude, y'all need to be put on certain NBA players, man, because you'll be sleeping on them. People sleep on Damian Lillard, bro. People sleep on RJ Barrett. You know? People sleep on Anthony Edwards. Like, bro, y'all need to be put on, bro. People sleep on Darren Fox. Like, dude, just wake up, bro. Like, don't claim that you're a huge NBA fan if you think that, you know, they're overpaying. Like, dude, like, not even long ago, people were like, oh, bro, they're underpaying the NBA players. Like, oh, you know, the coaches and shit, they take way more money than the players. It's like, since when was that ever a bad thing that the organization are paying a lot of money to the players? It's like, dude, other sports will be fucking begging for that. Like, you go to the UFC and you tell the fighters, do you want to be paid more? They're like, oh no, we're making way too much money. No one would fucking tell you that. Like, they'll be like, yeah, no shit, I want to make more. I'm literally putting my life on the line every time I fight. I could literally die in the ring. Yeah, I think that I would want to be paid more, right? No one would fucking say, oh yeah, let me get less, right? Like, it's just a stupid thing, right? So I don't get how people or so-called fans can be just, you know, overall against this. Like, dude, they're literally paying these players more. Where do you really want to see this money go to the organization more than the fucking players itself? Like, bro. And I get, you know, people are like, oh, but we can get more players and shit. It's like, dude, it's not that easy. You can't just like, oh, we can get more players. It's not that easy. There's so many deals they have to do and shit in order to get one player. There's deals on deals, bro. There's contracts and contracts, papers and papers to sign and shit. It's just not that easy. You're like, oh, here, let's throw this money at this player and let's see how they react. Like, bro, there's so much more. They're about, you know, it's like the location where it's at. Like, let's say Jimmy Butler gets traded, you know, from the Miami Heat to like the Utah Jazz, right? Because they were saying, oh, Jimmy Butler trading for Donovan Mitchell or some shit, right? Blah blah blah. But there's so much more, right? Because it could be a lot of money, but then Jimmy Butler has to be like, well, do I want to move to fucking Utah? He's like, what the fuck is going on in Utah? I'm literally in Miami. Why the fuck would I want to stay in Utah? There's so much more to this shit, right? You know, you know, what's the housing over there? Like not housing, obviously, but because he's rich as fuck. But like, where's a place I can get a good house there? Like, there's just so much more shit, man. So I just don't understand why fans, quote unquote fans get pissed off and shit. I'm not trying to take away this moment for RJ Barrett. I'm just saying, right? I just don't understand. I just don't like when people get mad that players are getting paid a lot. Like, dude, why is that a problem? It's not a problem, dude. The players work hard. They're training. They're working out. They're flying across fucking stage like every fucking day, right? Like, literally, no joke. They're flying state to state every fucking day for like however long the season is, right? They're risking to get injured, even when they're feeling like shit, sore, or injured, or whatever. They still gotta play. They still gotta push themselves. They had to eat clean, throughout the year, so they're in good shape and they don't look fucking fucked up. It's not easy, bro. So you can't bash on a player for doing the shit when you literally 99.9% of people can't do what they're doing right now. They can't, and it's simple as that, right? Yeah, source confirmed Barret and the Knicks are finalizing a 4-year deal that can pay he's 22 years old? Oh my god, dude, what am I doing? Up to $120 million with bonuses. Oh my god. Okay, now, dude, if people were pissed before, they're pissed even more now. Because it's not just $120 million. It's plus bonuses. Oh, dude, okay. If you guys want to get mad now, I fully understand. Obviously, I'm joking, dude. He fucking deserves it, but damn, dude. Bonuses as well? That's crazy. I wonder what bonuses mean. Like, what other things, right? It's not listed on here. Otherwise, I would say it. It's not a 5-year max deal for Barret, but likely takes him off the table and trade negotiations with Utah for Mitchell. Okay. So that's good. Stephen A is fucking excited. He's ecstatic about this shit right now, bro. He's like, let's fucking go, bro. Let's go. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I need to say about that. So, right on to the next topic. So, for the next topic for this podcast, we got Serena Williams' last U.S. Open match. Not match, but this is her last U.S. Open. And U.S. Opens includes quite a bit of matches. So when I say this is her last U.S. Open, it's not her last match, but her last U.S. Open, right? But that does include match. Like, I don't think she'll ever play again after this. That's what I mean. But U.S. Open, means that there's a lot of matches in it. If she makes it to the, those finals, right? It's kind of like, the NBA finals, right? Right? It's like that. The best of the best going against each other. This is sad to see, man. But I also understand, right? She has a kid. She's married. She's not getting any younger. I'm not saying that she looks old or she is old, because obviously she's in phenomenal shape, right? Especially for a fucking tennis player, on which you literally don't really need to be fit. Obviously, you gotta have good endurance, right, in order to last that long. But you don't have to be in the best of shape, right? Because it really relies on your arms and shit. But for the people that want to be the best at things, regardless of what they're doing, they'll get in shape, right? And Serena Williams, if you don't know by now, she's obviously one of the GOATs, right? Like, let's just keep it real. Like, she's easily top 10 greatest of all times. I'm talking about any sports. I'm not talking about tennis. When it comes to tennis, she's easily number one, right? There's no question about that. But as far as like GOATs of greatest of all time, she's easily in top 10, right? She's phenomenal at what she does, and it shows, right? So yeah, man, it's sad to see it, even though it's understandable. right? She's been in this game for a fucking long ass time, you know. And there's a point where you do have to retire because, you know, if you do play too long, you know, your legacy can, you know, what's the right word for this? Like simmer down a bit, I guess. You know, because there's gonna be new, young, hungry players that play against her and may eventually be beating her. So you don't want it to reach that level, right? So, I think what she's doing right now is obviously a good move. Obviously, I don't think she just came to a conclusion of like, oh yeah, let me retire this year. I'm sure there was plenty of talks. There's plenty of arguments that occurred on whether she should retire this year or should she wait. You know, I'm sure there's plenty of talks going on. So, you know, obviously she came to this conclusion, and obviously this is rumors. This is not, she didn't say this herself. Obviously these are rumors. But I just hope that whatever decision she makes, that it's, you know, it's the best for her, and will ultimately, you know, make her happy, right? Because that's, at the end of the day, that's all you want to see, right? So yeah, I mean that pretty much sums up all of that. So let's get into the next topic, and the topics I'll be getting into are the big ones. You know, I've talked about all the smaller ones. So let's talk about Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny. Obviously, you know, there was a headline that happened this past week, that initially, just to sum it up, showed Bad Bunny kissing one of his male dancers on stage. And I think he has a girlfriend, so I don't know how his girlfriend feels about this. I'm sure she's fine about it since Bad Bunny was just comfortable doing that. But yeah, man, I really don't see a problem with this. Obviously, it caught me off guard because, I mean, not because I'm like, oh my god, he's gay. Like, not for that reason, but more for the reason of like when I see Bad Bunny, it's kind of it's like how I see Jack Harlow, right? It's like they're chick magnets, right? Like all they get is women, right? So me seeing this, I was just like, I was caught so off guard. I'm like, what? Like, out of any male artist, I would not expect, like, you know, Bad Bunny. I said Bad Baby, Bad Bunny to come out as like bisexual, right? Again, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, it really just simply caught me off guard. You know, because again, I just saw him, you know, based on how he is, you know, interpreted online, that he's like a chick magnet, and that he gets like bitches all the time, which probably is still true, right? But now we know that it's like it's a mixed bag, right? Like he gets a lot of girls and he gets a lot of guys, which understandable, right? Like he's a good looking guy. I don't want to fuck him, but he's a good looking guy, right? First time I cough, right? That's good. That's a good thing. So yeah. So this happened at the VMAs. And yeah, I mean, a lot of people were like caught off guard. But honestly, I think this was not big of a highlight comparing that, you know, comparing this to like that he won Album of the Year award at the VMAs, and so I think that him winning Album of the Year was a way bigger topic than him, you know, kissing one of the male dancers. Obviously, I put in the title because, you know, it gets clicks and shit, you know. But yeah, I mean, I don't really see that big of a deal. So it's detailed that he kissed one of his male dancers while performing his hit song Titi me pregunto. Okay, yeah. Despite the moment receiving a fair amount of praise, some Twitter fans weren't happy with the display of affection, accusing Bad Bunny of queer baiting. I'm not too put on the word queer baiting. Queer baiting, just to be different, one wrote. But another adding, then went back to his girlfriend like, please leave us alone. I don't think it's that deep. Like, whoever wrote this, I don't think it's that deep, buddy. Like, kissing a guy just to be different. Like, it's not that different. There's gay people that exist. It's not that different. Like, I don't really understand what he would have gained from this if he was just acting. Obviously he's a good actor, right? But I think as far as this, I don't think it really, did anything. Obviously this is a big moment, but apart from that, this really didn't benefit him in any other way. So obviously he was publicly criticized for kissing at a show in St. Juan to the point of death threats. Oh, okay. So what I'm reading right now, it's about two other female artists that came out as, I think, gay, and they were criticized. Not Bad Bunny. Okay. Wait, am I reading this right? Yeah, I'm reading it. Okay. Someone said Bad Bunny kissing a male backup dancer was probably in response to how earlier this week Puerto Rican media and some in the reggaeton space were outraged by a kiss between Filiano Italiano and Tokisha, calling him a queer baiter is not the serve y'all think. Just want to first off say that I apologize for butchering the name. Not too good in my Latin language, but I what's the point of queer baiting, right? Like, what does that do for anyone by queer baiting? Because I'm seeing this a lot, like the word queer baiting. Like, what does this do for people, right? Like, being a queer baiter, is that homophobic in any way? Like, I don't get this, dude. Right? I don't see why you would just kiss the same sex purposely just to be a queer baiter. Like, it makes no sense to me. The states, someone said, first, even if it's queer baiting, Bad Bunny is a solid and vocal queer ally, so he has many blessing. Another share. Second, dude could be bi or pan. Doesn't really owe us any explanation. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Bad Bunny, I think he is. I think I have seen him being an advocate for, like, the queer community. And yeah, I mean, how can you call him a queer baiter when he's literally, advocating and he's supporting the queer community? I don't understand this. It just doesn't make sense. Bad Bunny, in an interview in 2020 LA Times interview, he says, sexuality does not define me. At the end of the day, I don't know if in 20 years I will like a man. One never knows in life. At the moment, I am heterosexual and I like women. So he even said it in a fucking interview in 2020, bro. He's like, I don't know, bro. At the end of the day, in 20 years, maybe I'll like a man. So obviously, it took less than 20 years. But that's fine, dude. If he likes a man, he likes a man. Like, why are people getting mad? They're like, oh my God, I thought he was a Catholic. I would stop listening to him. Like, that fucking affects anything, bro. Like, you stop listening to him affects anything. He's still making a shit ton of money, bro. He's still getting, tremendous opportunities. I'm sure that he's getting way more opportunities now just from this shit. But yeah, that's wild that people get, weirded out or mad about this shit. I got two more topics, so I got to get into this quickly. So let's get into the next topic. The next topic that we have for today, we have Addison Rae mortified by drama surrounding parents. So Addison Rae drama. I want to keep it real. I don't know too much about this. I do know a couple names. I do know who's in the wrong. I do know what happened. Also at the VMAs, between Young Gravy and Addison Rae's mom. God damn, Addison Rae's a bad bitch. She's hard as fuck. But apart from that, I don't know most of the details. So Addison Rae is mortified by recent headlines about her parents. Monty Lopez and Sherry Nicole Esterling, a source tells Page 6 exclusively. So Monty Lopez, I believe, is her dad or stepdad. I think her dad. And Sherry Nicole is her mother. Addison Rae's parents. Addison has seen her parents go through a lot of ups and downs over the years, but everything going on right now has been particularly overwhelming for her. A rep for Rae did not respond to Page 6's request for comment. Okay. So the drama within the TikTok star's family came to light in July when Page 6 exclusively reported that Monty Lopez, 46-year-old, allegedly had a 5-month affair with a 25-year-old woman named Rennie Ash earlier this year. While Lopez insisted he and Esterling were separated at the time of the dalliance, Ash told us he misled him on his marriage. He lied to me. Rae, 21, unfollowed her dad on Instagram in the weeks leading up to her bombshell report about Esterling removed wife from her bio and posted a message about her challenging and overwhelming situation. Rae has since unfollowed her mom too. So seems to me that Monty Lopez allegedly had an affair earlier this year. Okay, so the influencer who has nearly 90 million followers on TikTok cryptically admitted on Twitter later in July that she was struggling, although she did not directly address Lopez's scandal. She also canceled the press day. Okay, so this is obviously affecting Addison Rae. And this is fucked up, right? Like, when you're literally being affected by shit that your parents are doing that you literally have no control of, it's pretty fucked up, right? But there's really nothing you can do, really much you can do about it, other than say to your parents, like, what the fuck, right? Rae's headache has likely only gotten worse now that Esterling, 42-year-old, is flaunting a new fling with Young Gravy. So they were seen together at the VMAs, kissing each other, on the lips, a little peck, but nothing less. Still, they're still seen together. The unlikely pair made their debut Sunday at 2022 MTV Video Music Awards, where they made out both on the red carpet and in the audience. I hit on her first, the Betty rapper, 26, told Page 6 at the show, calling Esterling the queen of MILFs. Lopez later took to Instagram to savagely thank Gravy for taking the leftovers to the VMAs. So, from what I'm seeing, Monty Lopez, the 42-year-old, is, acting like a little bitch. He's acting like a little kid. Obviously not giving a fuck about Addison Rae feelings and just completely ignoring how she feels about all the shit that's going on. And, you don't see Young Gravy saying shit like this because he knows better, right? Lopez and Esterling, who divorced when Rae was young and remarried in 2017, are also the parents of sons Enzo, 14, and Lucas, 8. Okay. So people in the wrong, I'm sure it's the parents, obviously. I don't know who else it would be, right? Young Gravy, I think Young Gravy is there to just stir the pot a little more, I feel like he just saw the opening, like how Pete Davidson saw the opening with Kim Kardashian. I feel like it was, but I think this is more of a step up, right? I think Young Gravy purposely did this, right? Like he saw the opening and he went for it, right? And I think they were Addison Rae's mom and Young Gravy. They were like what's it called? They were already flirting prior from this happening. So So I think this just, was destined to happen. But obviously it happened during, a bad timing. But, it still happened. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. I'm sure Young Grave is a good guy. He seems like a good guy. He has good music, funny music, right? Um, but I don't know how much this helps the situation. I don't know what Young Gravy did. Was a good move. I think it might have just made things worse. But that's just an outside look. That's just me basing it off from what I'm reading. So obviously Addison Rae is the innocent in this because she literally has nothing to do with this. But obviously, since this is her fucking parents, she's obviously being thrown in the drama, which I just think that it's fucked up because Addison Rae's obviously a busy woman and she has a lot of shit on her fucking plate, and there should be no room for this type of bullshit. So, I mean, if her parents are fucking listening, bro, just grow up, man. Really, just grow up. Just take a little break, bro, and just reach out to your fucking daughter and just see how she's doing and how she feels all about this, because I feel like that's what's really missing right now. Just a conversation between all of y'all. Just all y'all. Y'all just need to have a conversation. Like, stop with this internet bullshit and meet up over a fucking cup of coffee, bro. Chill out and fucking. There's no reason to be aggressive, right? Just talk shit out, hash it out. Young Gravy does not need to be there. This is family drama that Young Gravy intentionally put himself in, maybe for clout, maybe because he saw an opening to fuck a MILF, a big name MILF, and he went for it. And I mean, I big up on him for that, but bad timing, bad timing. But yeah, man, I think that's really just that's what's missing right now, just a conversation between y'all. Dude, for fucking Christ's sake, bro, she's your daughter. Like you're telling me that you're not gonna speak to your daughter about how she feels? Like, come on. I don't care how big Addison Rae is, dude. She's still a human being. She's still your daughter, and you have to fucking, talk this out, like how you used to do it when she was going to school and shit. I mean, come on, dude. She wasn't famous her entire life. She's had a normal life. I'm sure you guys know how to fucking act like good parents, right? I mean, it's all nonsense, man. Yeah, let's get right into the next topic. So for the next topic, I will try to go through this a little faster, because it's kind of like, obviously there's a lot of shit that happened. I'm talking about the Misfits boxing for anyone, wondering what I'm talking about. But at the Misfits boxing, I'm just searching up the card right now, just to see what I'm about to get into. Obviously, I'm gonna try to speed this up because I hate saying it, but I do have some shit to do. But yeah, it's just like, there was a lot of fights, and it's gonna be kind of hard to like break down each of them. If you want to see my full breakdown of each of the fights, I did kind of ranted on Twitter. My Twitter is Frank Magana 15, I think. Maybe it's Unwanted Mind. You can try any of those two. I think it's Frank Magana 15. I did break down these fights, so I'm kind of gonna break it down in a simple way of who I thought would win and who actually won, and just overall summary of the fight. So let's just start off with the first fight, right? And build ourselves up. So Dean the Great versus Elver Hero. So I wasn't really too put on who these influencers were. Still don't know much about them. I know more about Dean the Great now. But they both look in good shape, and I was excited to see what was going to happen from this fight. Just because I wasn't really too excited about these smaller cards. But then I saw, the drama that was happening, the weigh-ins, the conferences, and it hyped me up. And I feel like that's the reason why they have those type of events, is to hype up the fighters and to know more about them. So I think that this really helped out, at least for me, to see who these fighters were. So when it came to Dean the Great versus Elver Hero, I had Dean the Great winning, just based because he looked stronger, he looked more fit, he looked more energetic than to Evil Hero. And I just and that's why I had Dean the Great winning, and obviously he ended up winning. And he had a great fight. He's a great fighter. Dean the Great really proved himself to be a pro boxer, in my opinion, right? I know he's considered a YouTube boxer, but KSI also said this in his video. A lot of YouTuber boxers, I know they have a bad name on them because they're YouTube boxers, they're influencer boxers, however you want to call them. I know they have a bad name on them, but they'll beat most of so-called pro boxers, right? Because pro boxer is just a title, right? You could still be shit and be a pro boxer. I mean, we've seen Pinada. I mean, I'm not gonna, go and get ahead of myself, but I mean, Pinada, however you fucking say his name, he's a shit boxer, right? I feel like I could easily beat him, and I have no boxing experience, right? And this guy is considered a pro boxer, and he's literally shit. Like, I don't know who he beat, because he's 2-for-6 now. He used to be 2-5. Now he's 2-for-6 because he lost to KSI. I don't know who the fuck he beat. Maybe he beat like some like his little brothers, and they consider that little 2 wins. I don't know. Maybe he went against like fucking okay, I was about to go a little far, but maybe he went against like some young kid or some shit. I don't know. But I feel like Dean the Great could easily beat Pinada, and Pinada's so-called considered a pro boxer. So let's just take away the fucking criticism from terms like YouTube boxer or influencer boxer. All right. Next one up, we had Salt Poppy versus Andy Worski. For me, this was easy. Easy pick, obviously Salt Poppy. He's obviously a big name on TikTok. He's a big content creator. And also, I've seen his last fight. I saw him fight last time, and I saw how hungry he was, how much weight he lost. And obviously now he lost even more weight. He looked thinner. He looked just great in shape. So I just saw the hunger in him. Compared to fucking Andy Worski, where he literally did not say shit, and he just looked like some random dude that they just picked out from the fucking sidewalk or some shit. They just like, hey, you want to fight this guy? So yeah, for me it was easy. Salt Poppy, he knocked out Andy Worski, and it was a great fucking scene. Next one up, we had Sam Hyde versus I Am Thompson. This is where the first match where I lost, like the player that I picked lost, because Sam Hyde ended up winning, and I Am Thompson lost. And the reason why I picked I Am Thompson to win is because at the weigh-in, when they both took their shirts off, I saw I Am Thompson, and I'm like, oh my god, this guy's like so bulked, like he's so big, he's like shredded, but he's a fucking unit, right? Compared to Sam Hyde, where he's also a unit, he's big, but he's not as cut as I Am Thompson is. And I should have known this already, right? Like, strength isn't really, necessarily targeted towards how cut you looked, right? But more of like how much you do, right? Like as far as like weights and shit. And obviously, boxing training, since this is a boxing fight, right? But yeah, Sam Hyde beat the shit out of Ian Thompson, and I was just surprised by it. But I was surprised before it. No, like I was surprised. Like through half of it, maybe like the first the first rounds. I was surprised, but then I saw Sam Hyde's potential. I saw his boxing compared to Ian Thompson, and I'm like, oh yeah, dude. I mean, Sam Hyde just had his shit locked down. I knew like halfway through the fight that Sam Hyde was gonna beat the shit out of Ian Thompson, so it made sense. Next one we have is King Kenny versus Face Sensei. I'm gonna say this now. I know Face Sensei won't tell you this because he's a humble fucking guy, and I love this guy for who he is because he's such an amazing inspiration. But he was robbed, and a lot of people noticed that. A lot of people are saying the same shit. No one's gonna tell you that, None of the fighters will tell you that. But Face Sensei was robbed, and it's sad to see it. But I have a whole lot of respect for King Kenny, dude. Just him, not just him being part of the Beta Squad. I love the Beta Squad. Shout out to my UK fans, whoever's listening. But King Kenny, just the way that he comes off, he's just so humble. He's like a UK version of Face Sensei, right? Like they're literally like initially like brothers or some shit, right? From different mothers. They both are just so respectable. They're so humble. But as far as this fight, man, I really had Face Sensei winning. I had Face Sensei winning, and he ended up losing. And I really don't think he lost this, but I mean, what could I do about it, right? Next one, this was probably the biggest fight of the night, even though this is not the headline fight, and that's Deji versus Fuzi. This was a huge fucking fight. And for a whole lot of different reasons, right? One, Deji hadn't won a fight ever. He was 0 for 3, and Fuzi, was I guess was gonna kind of make a comeback if he won, right? Because his career is kind of dead, right? And obviously he was also like just extremely shredded, So it was just it was hard to say who was gonna win this, right? I obviously had Deji winning, just because I just love Deji. I love the content that he puts out. I see the hungriness in him, right? Obviously he's brother of KSI, so they're not like that far apart from each other, based on like how crazy they could be, or their potential could be. So for those reasons, I had Deji winning, and Deji ended up winning, and I gotta fucking give it to this man. A lot of people were doubting him. A lot of people were saying that he's not gonna win. Boxing isn't meant for him. People have been saying that, and he's proved everyone wrong, and it's dope to see that, right? Because Deji is obviously, he's just an amazing guy, right? So, and I'm happy that Fuzi, he was humble about his loss. He was like, Deji, you deserve this. It sucks that it had to be me. It had to be me who lost to you, but Deji, I'll give it to you. And it's dope to see that, right? So for those reasons, that was probably my main that was my main fight of this match card. Next one we have is Face Temper versus Slim. Now this one really surprised me because I had Face Temper winning because he just the way that he comes off is just like he's a killer. Like he comes out as a cold killer. I know he's known for playing video games and shit and owning FaZe. I get it, right? But Face Temper, he's been quiet. He seems like he's very focused. He's very locked in. So I really had him winning. But Slim just came out. He came out different, bro. Like I know Slim he's like this. I know he's like this, but I thought that he was gonna get humbled by Face Temper, but fuck, man. It literally happened the opposite way. And this is why I love watching boxing fights. This is why I love this game. because you do not know what to expect. Because Slim knocked the shit out of Face Temper, and it's just, wow. That, like, even though I was rooting for Face Temper, that shit, like, woke me up. I'm like, ooh, wow, let's go. You know? It's just, wow, Slim is really that fucking guy, man. I don't know who Slim's gonna fight next, but it's gotta be a tough opponent, because this motherfucker needs to be tested even more, because this guy's a killer, bro. Slim will fucking knock your ass out, so, you know, I really want to see who he fights next. Maybe Slim versus King Kenny? I don't know. I don't know if that's tough enough of a fight. But he's definitely got to be tested. Maybe Slim versus what's his name? Gibb? No, I think Gibb's going to fight Austin McBroom, so I don't think that's going to happen. But it could happen. But let's see how Gibb versus Austin McBroom does first. I got Gibb winning that fight. I know Austin McBroom, based on the Bryce Hall fight, was, you know, there's a lot of evidence backing up that he's a great fighter, right? But how tough is Bryce Hall, right? Like, is Bryce Hall really that tough? Or did Austin McBroom make Bryce Hall seem like a pussy, right? So yeah. So I had Face Temper, but Slim won. And congrats to him. And then there was the KSI versus Swarms and KSI versus Pinata. So obviously, what you were expecting to happen happened. KSI beat the shit out of both of them. And he knocked both of them out. And I don't think out, but he knocked both of them down, and it was counted as a TKO on both of them. And I'm just gonna say this right now. Like, I love KSI. He obviously has improved so fucking much. But even he knows this, right? Like, I watched his recent video, and even he knows this. Gideon said the same shit on Twitter. The main event wasn't it. And he was not tested to his full capacity. And I think that's why he's good. He said he's going to fight in January. Because I think that he needs to fight soon as well. Because I just feel like he hasn't been tested enough, right? Like, he has to fight a better boxer in order to fully show his skill, right? Because I know KSI has trained so hard, and you know he's an incredible boxer. I know he's capable of beating Jake Paul and many other fighters, but KSI had an easy fight, and I know it wasn't up to him. I know he believed that Pinata was going to be a tough opponent because, you know, he's literally labeled as a pro boxer. You know, he was supposed to be the hard fight, and Swarms literally was a harder fight than Pinata. Like, people were saying Swarms could beat Pinata, and Swarms had 2 weeks of boxing training, and Pinata is literally a pro boxer. Like, and that's what sucks, right? Like, imagine dedicating your whole life to something, and a motherfucker that literally trained for 2 weeks can beat your ass. It's insane, and it shows that you're not training hard enough, obviously, right? But it's just, you know, this is not what I expected the main event to be like. Obviously, I know Alex Wasabi fucked up everything. He literally pulled out, you know. And I feel like it would have been a better fight, but hey, man, you know, it's not really up to us. So, you know, I'm just happy for the event for what it was, you know, because if it wasn't for the other fights, this whole event could have been shit. But there were just so many good fights, and I'm just appreciative of all of it together. Because even though the KSI fight was kind of ass, it was dope seeing KSI, you know, locked in and him boxing, right? Because we haven't seen it in a while, in 3 years. So it was very dope to see him boxing again. And I can't wait to see him boxing again. And yeah, I mean, that pretty much sums up the whole podcast. I think this format, the way I'm doing this shit, is way better because I was able to talk about the small topics and the bigger topics and not take too long on them. So I think this is what I'm gonna be doing now. But, you know, let me know if you guys liked the format, this new format that that I'm doing now, talking about smaller topics and building up to the big ones. Let me know if you guys fuck with this. I personally fuck with it, but let me know what you guys feel about it. Give me some feedback wherever you're watching this. If you're on a streaming platform, you could rate this. Rate it 5 stars or whatever you believe is best. And watching this on YouTube, comment under down below. Leave this video a like. Subscribe for more content. I post gaming videos, podcasts, YouTube shorts, which are basically my TikToks. Subscribe. We're close to hitting 1,000. I'm currently around I think I'm at 560 right now. But we're about to hit 1,000 soon. So, let's just run these numbers up. I'm about to hit 20,000 on TikTok. Follow me on my Instagram. I post every Friday a main page post. I post on my Creative Lounge every single day. And yeah, just follow me there if you want to see more of me. And thank you for listening. Honestly, this was a great podcast. I actually felt very energetic and felt great doing this. So even though I'm kind of ill, I feel very energetic while recording this podcast. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great weekend, great rest. I'm a little tired, but great rest of your weekend. You just have a good one. All right.